Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, an early morning crash closed a busy highway and ferry service, leaving 2 Victoria residents dead and 1 person jailed. From Arlington National Cemetery to the White House, President Trump's Memorial Day message. And local Memorial Day services offer the community a chance to remember, reflect, and pay tribute together.
Well, believe it or not, severe thunderstorms are on their way to the crossroads. They're right along I-35 at San Antonio, where they're getting 2 to 4 inches of rain. That line is going to be dropping southward. So as you can see, Victoria County is under severe thunderstorm watch until 5 a.m. I'll have the latest for you coming up in just a moment.
And just before the Maidens and Lady Comanches head to Austin for their state championship softball games, we're going to recap their high-profile matchup they had this past season in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10.
This is a severe weather alert from the 25 News Now First Warn Storm Team.
Yes, several area counties are now under severe thunderstorm watches. Let's go immediately to Mac Pettis with a first look at the forecast. Mac?
Well, Don, things worked out for our Memorial Day, but now the real heavy weather is about to move into the region. You can see all of these counties in yellow. They're under a severe thunderstorm watch. This area is a tornado watch. We've had a huge line of storms that's now right along the I-35 corridor all the way down to San Antonio. And now we're going to be next. It's going to be dropping down through our area. This blue area that you see here, that's the watershed of the Guadalupe River, so it's good that we're getting this rainfall. Problem is, this has already shown signs of hail. There was a tornado this afternoon up in Menard. It does look like the intensity is beginning to decrease. This is the hail activity, and you can see how it was bright blue and then in the center, and then it's beginning to decrease. So there could be some hail somewhere in the crossroads tonight. There will be stormy weather overnight. Probably between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. You're going to hear the rumble of the thunder. We'll be talking more about it coming up in a moment. Don, back to you.
Mac, thank you. 3 more inmates who escaped custody in New Orleans earlier this month were captured today, leaving 2 of the original 10 escapees at large. Louisiana police, state police say Leo Tate and Jermaine Donald were arrested in Huntsville by Texas DPS. Lenton Van Buren was also taken into custody in Baton Rouge. 10 inmates escaped from the Orleans Justice Center earlier this month, while 8 men are now back in custody. The remaining 2 fugitives, Derek Groves and Antoine Massey, remain at large and are considered armed and dangerous. A deadly crash shut down Highway 361 on Aransas Pass and ferry service to Port Aransas for several hours early this morning. Aransas Pass police say it happened around 2:50 a.m. when a Dodge Ram 2500 hit a parked Kia on Highway 361 near Harbor Island Road, causing the truck to roll over. A 32-year-old man and a 40-year-old woman, both from Victoria, were killed at the scene. A 3rd passenger was taken to the hospital. Her condition is unknown. 2 people in the Kia were also checked for injuries. The driver was arrested for DWI. Police believe alcohol was involved. They have not released any names due to the ongoing investigation. The community came together in De Leon Plaza this morning to honor the heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice. Victoria's annual Memorial Day ceremony was filled with emotion and gratitude. It opened with a heartfelt prayer, followed by the ringing of a tribute bell as the names of fallen veterans were read aloud. Groups like the VFW, Navy Seabees, and Sons and Daughters of the American Revolution laid wreaths in their memory. Attorney Stephen Tyler gave the Memorial Day address, and the ceremony wrapped up with a rifle volley and the playing of taps. Tonight, the Crossroads celebrated the fallen veterans who have protected our country with their service. 25 News Now weekend anchor Trenton Whiting was in attendance at the Field of Honor for this solemn ceremony.
Memorial Day, a day of reflection for all the fallen soldiers and veterans who gave their lives in protection of this country. The Crossroads recognized these lost souls at the Field of Honor, where Warriors Weekend held a ceremony in their honor.
This day has been reserved strictly, solely, to honor and observe those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
The event included a flag retirement ceremony and some history from the oldest vet in attendance. But the key part, the reading of over 400 veterans from the crossroads who have lost their lives, followed by a 21-gun salute and the playing of taps.
Whatever we can do for those who have been wounded in action or for the families whose soldiers have been killed in action, whatever we can do for them is never enough. We can always do more.
The night ended with a prayer from the Catholic Daughters, and everyone in attendance showed their respects to the patriotic displays at the Field of Honor as they departed. Trenton Whiting, KAVU-TV, 25 News Now.
A Texas DEI ban in public schools gets House approval. Senate Bill 12 supporters say DEI programs use class time and public funds to promote political agendas. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. The Texas House approved a Senate bill that will require all Texas sheriffs to enter into formal partnerships with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The measure mandates that sheriff's offices statewide take part in the federal 287G program that authorizes local officers to serve administrative immigration warrants at their jails. The bill was amended to apply to all counties that operate a jail. The House must pass the bill once more before it returns to the Senate for approval of amendments. Victoria County Sheriff's Office officials tell us their deputies currently take part in the 287G program. Goliad County Sheriff Roy Boyd told us the bill falls short. Sheriff Boyd says Homeland Security is pushing a new task force model in order to combine local, state, and federal agencies in a field effort. He added, quote, "The bill does not contain this most important part of the plan, so we will be no closer to defunding the cartels than we were 4 years ago," unquote. This brings us to our viewer poll tonight. Should local sheriffs prioritize immigration enforcement or other community issues? Most of today, the other community issues had over 60% of the voters. Now that is down to 54%, and what is up to 31%? Immigration enforcement. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we thank you for voting. President Trump honored the fallen, laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. The president is now blasting Vladimir Putin, calling him absolutely crazy, and what Trump is now saying about a new tariff threat on the European Union.
Today, President Trump marking Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery, laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier to honor America's fallen.
We share in the sorrow of their beloved families, and as one nation, we give thanks for the ultimate gift they have so selflessly given to all of us.
But the president also using his Memorial Day message on social media to lash out at federal judges who blocked his agenda and blast his political opponents, calling them, quote, scum.
A republic that I am fixing after a long and hard 4 years. That was a hard 4 years we went through. Who would let that happen? People pouring through our borders unchecked.
And just days after a federal judge temporarily blocked the administration's ban on international students at Harvard, Trump is now threatening to take $3 billion in grants away from Harvard and redirect the money to trade schools.
Part of the problem with Harvard is that there are about 31%, almost 31% of foreigners coming to Harvard. We have Americans that want to go there and to other places.
The White House claims Harvard has become a hotbed of anti-American, anti-Semitic, pro-terrorist agitators, allegations Harvard denies. A hearing is now set for Thursday, but until then, the fate of nearly 7,000 international students at Harvard hangs in the balance.
We're all panicking, we're all overwhelmed, time of uncertainty, literally, like I've never experienced it before.
And tonight, the president also turning his frustration towards Vladimir Putin just hours after Russia unleashed its biggest bombardment of Ukraine since the start of the war. In a rare rebuke of the Russian leader, Trump saying Putin has gone absolutely crazy.
I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all.
But the Kremlin pushing back tonight, suggesting Trump's comments might be due to emotional overload. And one more headline tonight, the president is delaying a major tariff threat. He had threatened to impose 50% tariffs on European goods, but he's delaying those tariffs by a month to allow for more trade talks. But Trump is keeping the pressure on Apple, warning that they'll get hit with 25% tariffs if they don't make the iPhone here in the U.S., something that analysts say is unrealistic. Selena Wang, ABC News, the White House.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. Struggling to set boundaries. Some people are doing that. See why experts say it's essential for your well-being. Also ahead, a veteran's passion for gardening is uniting his retirement community. Find out how Andy's tomatoes are making a difference. Setting boundaries is not always easy. It can feel awkward or even uncomfortable, but experts say it's key to reducing stress and building healthier relationships. In fact, it's one of the best things you can do for your mental well-being.
Saying no can be hard to do, but experts say setting boundaries is not only good for mental health, it's necessary. Not having them isn't good for anyone.
It ends up really affecting your mental health. You might end up depleted. You might feel like your needs aren't met.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says to set healthy boundaries, start by reflecting on your own needs and on your limits. And don't compare yourself to others. We all have different needs and limits. Next, align your actions with what's right for you.
So if you know, okay, I need to set limits on how much I take on because it affects my mood, my sleep, my interactions with my family, keep coming back to that why.
Baumstein says to communicate those boundaries clearly and assertively and be consistent with those boundaries. She says that will reinforce those lines drawn and help people understand that they're there. And finally, learn to say no.
This is hard for a lot of us, but we want to remember that no can be a full sentence. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify it. This is about protecting your own mental well-being and protecting relationships that you have with other people.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A new study says hitting the snooze button when your alarm goes off could actually be costing you sleep. The average snoozer spends an extra 11 minutes in bed, but it's not usually quality sleep. Those minutes can add up to nearly a full night's loss of sleep per month. That loss may affect your mood and increase the risk of cognitive issues. To avoid the snooze, set your first alarm as late as possible. Residents in an East Texas retirement home will never go without fresh tomatoes, not as long as one 94-year-old Air Force veteran with a green thumb lives there.
I treat these plants just like I would my kids. I give them tender, loving care.
For the past 2 years, Richard Anderson, better known as Andy, has been growing tomatoes in a courtyard.
I concentrated on what I could do best, and that's raise tomatoes.
Andy and his wife Wilma Anderson moved to Pinecrest Retirement Community in order to downsize. But the one thing he couldn't take with him was his garden, leaving him with very little to do.
If I just sat around here, I might go crazy. I enjoy work.
So they asked the director, Heath Faust, if Andy could start one. Faust says it took some time, but he found a spot.
He was very excited about that, and then he was telling me all the supplies he needed.
He started with 10 buckets, moving to 26 this year, checking on them about 5 times a day. Wilma says the tomatoes keep him busy. Not being much of a gardener herself, she loves that he's staying active.
That's exercise because it is quite a long walk, as you see.
While he enjoys tending to his tomatoes, he enjoys giving them away just as much.
The tomatoes for everybody that lives here. I love tomatoes myself.
It's like a fight around here to get a tomato off of Andy. They're very good, and I took them home. My wife used them in a spaghetti that she made.
His daughter, Shawn Shelton, enjoys seeing her father use his green thumb.
From the time that I was little, we always had a garden. Dad loves working outside.
Now 94 years old, he says he plans on growing them for at least a few more years.
I enjoy seeing things live and grow, and I think the people here enjoy that too. They don't like to see things die. They're getting old in their age. These tomatoes represent something to them.
After years of dedication and effort, they're stepping into the future with pride and promise. We're celebrating 2025 graduates. Congratulations to Austin. The message says, we are so proud of you. Keep chipping away at those goals. We have loved supporting you through your school days and cannot wait to see what your future holds. El Campo, class of 2025. Congratulations to Braden. The message says, we are so proud of you and we cannot wait to see what your future has in store for you. We love you. Congratulations to Jared and Lyra. The message says, we are so proud and happy and proud of you. Keep reaching for the stars. Love from Sylvia, Matt, Zayden, and Isaiah. Congratulations, Julian. The message says, congratulations, little brother. We are beyond proud of you for this accomplishment. I pray that God continues to guide your every step, and whatever the future holds for you, I know it will be amazing, and you're going to do big things in your life. I love you. Now through June 13th, you can submit a photo and heartfelt message for your graduate. We'll be featuring local grads on air and across our social media. It's our way of celebrating the class of 2025 with you. Just head to our contest page at crossroadstoday.com, click on the Entertainment tab, then select Contest to upload your tribute and share your pride.
Well, good evening, everybody. Believe it or not, some stormy weather is about to roll into the Crossroads. It's already coming into the Gonzales area right there. Heavy thunderstorms from Bryan through Gonzales all the way out to well, almost Del Rio. That line will be here probably around midnight, so look for thunder and lightning overnight. There has been some hail with this system, so we're going to have to watch it very carefully. We'll come back with all of that coming up in a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. Believe it or not, we've got some stormy weather headed for us right at this hour. As a matter of fact, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch here. These areas right there, which are over San Antonio, are the ones where there are severe thunderstorms occurring even as we speak. And all this area in red is under a tornado watch. Now, that watch is likely to dissipate at about midnight. So the tornado threat is dropping. Then it becomes severe thunderstorms as it starts moving down into our area. And you can see how pretty much all of us here in the Crossroads are included in this. So once again, here's Victoria. We're under that watch. The stormy weather is right along the I-35 corridor right there, and it's moving out of San Antonio. So those of you in Carson City, those of you in Gonzales, you're going to be first as this arrives probably by midnight. And by 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, it should be right here in downtown Victoria. So stormy weather will be with us over the overnight time period. Here's the activity. There's the heaviest storm right about there. And you can see how it's basically going in this direction. So that's the path of it. But all that complex is moving to the southeast. Now, it's had dropped 2 to 4 inches of rain. There's been quite a bit of hail in San Antonio and then out west. And earlier in the afternoon, we had a tornado up in Menard, but that tornado threat seems to be decreasing at this hour. And what we're waiting basically is for the rain to arrive here. Will it have any hail? It will likely have some hail, but let me put it to you this way. It's beginning to warm up as it gets closer to the coast. So let's just say the hail threat is slowly decreasing. It's not going to be baseball stuff like they saw up there earlier, but we may have some marble-sized hail around the area overnight. Now, this will all occur between probably midnight and 4 in the morning, and then after that, it's going to clear up. Here's San Antonio. You can see the heaviest hail at this moment is occurring up here in the Helotes area. Let's take a look at how much rain they've had. Here's how much rain they've had in the last 6 hours, and you can see a solid 3 to 4 inches already up here. So it's a gully washer for sure. It's coming down the Guadalupe River Valley, which is great. It's for the river, but it's going to be a stormy night, and we all need to be ready for this. If you have anything sensitive, that you left outside, make sure you roll up the windows of the car. And if you can have a garage, well, great. That will prevent any kind of hail problem. Now, here's what we expect to go onward into the evening. So there's a storm complex. We roll forward, and you can see how it comes right down through our area. 2 o'clock in the morning, right on top of us, okay? By 4 o'clock in the morning, it starts to pull out of here, but there will be some stormy weather until maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. And then after that, we do get a little bit of a clearing, so the day will be okay. Pardon me, the overnight time period will be a problem. But we go forward and into your Wednesday, you will see how we have another complex of storms, this one firing over the mountains of northern Mexico, that will drift over our area as well. Now, it's got a little bit of a break here, but you can pretty well assume there's going to be enough instability around here to see some sort of thunder shower activity. That's Tuesday and Wednesday that we're going to have some stormy stuff. So overnight is the first wave that's coming through. So stormy weather, and then clearing up by noon tomorrow. You'll actually see a little sun. Your high temperature will be upper 80s. In Cuera, you'll get up into the upper 80s, but most of the stormy stuff will be early in the morning. Now, here's why we have alert days up. Tomorrow or tonight is that rain, and then more on Wednesday and possibly Thursday and Friday. So all of a sudden, we're back into the severe weather business, and we're certainly going to be tracking it for you right here all night long. Join us on, well, let's see, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. If you scan that, you can put Crossroads Today on your phone, and I can send you all the bulletins right to your phone, and you can see what the hourly updates are going to be looking like. That is your forecast, and we'll toss it over to Ray with sports.
All right, thank you, Mac. And we're recapping the game 2 in the series between the 2 state qualifiers in the Shiner Lady Comanches and the Ganado Maidens, coming up in sports. You know, it's not frequent that you get two schools in the same division competing for a state title. With Crossroads, that's the case we have this week with the Shiner Lady Comanches and the Ganado Maidens. Luckily, earlier this season, we got a good glimpse into some premier softball from these Crossroad teams with a high-profile regular season game, with the Indians winning Game 2, final score 8-7. So here's a brief recap to help re-jog your memory. Seeing two Crossroads battle it out is a sight to see by itself. But when the teams are state champion favorites, that's when the action goes to another level. The Shiner Lady Comanches is the more proven team when discussing the duo. They are coming off a state championship the previous season, but the championship pedigree doesn't stop the Lady Comanches from finding out what they need to fix and work on throughout the season, as head coach Keller points out.
We could probably spend a little bit more time at the plate, being more disciplined, not swinging at pitches that are going to get ourselves out with, as well as base running.
Well, we know what we can do if we are like on our top game, and so I think it's just really important that we all stay positive all the time, and like you never know what can happen in softball.
Then there's the Ganado Maidens, a school that's no stranger to capturing their first title. The Maidens is a team full of hungry athletes wanting to make an impact. The proof is after talking to sophomore Kaylin Benavidez and Paisley Hajowski. These athletes all had their first home runs in very crucial games.
Great, I've never hit a home run before, so it was the first one. I think my team definitely hyped me up very good, and yeah, I
really good. I felt like it really got the energy going because we were down 6 and then it scored some runs, and so I felt like everyone was cheering and stuff, and so it just like lifted everybody up.
Of luck to both of those teams, and as the Generals get ready for their upcoming season, we know what July 22nd will mark. They are teaming up with their sponsor Studio 119, on the day to have their small business night at the ballpark, a night dedicated to provide the people of Victoria the opportunity to set up booths at Riverside Stadium. The Generals will begin their season next Tuesday on the road against Seguin, and they will have their home opener on Thursday against the Gumbo Gators. And on to some national sports and talking about some college softball. After beating Clemson in the Super Regional Finals, the number 6 Longhorns will battle the number 3 ranked Florida in a SEC showdown. Florida is also coming off a 3-game matchup, which they beat Georgia in their Super Regional finale. This game is surprisingly a regular season rematch between the Gators and the Longhorns, which marked the Longhorns' first official series as a part of the SEC. Best of luck to the Longhorns down in Oklahoma City. And that does it for your sports. Don?
Thank you, Ray. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, rolling for the teas, the winners, and wipeouts. You have to see to believe.
Tonight, you can call me Grandpa. What are you thinking about the fact that you once dated a man who's now a grandfather?
I mean, it's a bummer, but...
An upstate New York fire department saved ducklings from a storm drain Sunday. The Jamestown, New York Fire Department responded to a call for ducklings in a storm drain. Nearby, an anxious mother watched as 11 ducklings were plucked from the drain. The emergency ended well. All the ducklings were reunited with their mother thanks to efforts of the firefighters who answered the call. Take a look at competitors falling down an absurdly steep hill, taking part in the Cooper's Hill cheese rolling competition in England. To win, competitors go on a 200-yard dash down a grassy hill, running after a wheel of double Gloucester cheese. But it's a tradition that dates back to the 1800s. Fortunately, the cheese does not. All right, now my big question to you, Mac, is this. What are the chances for hail to hit Victoria County overnight?
I think we have a good chance of getting some hail in the area. That being said, the big stuff was up north of San Antonio. The rain is going through San Antonio right now. You can see the thunder and lightning, all these little flashes. That's where the lightning is occurring. You can see how it's just about to get into Gonzales. So for those of you north of us, northwest, you're going to be looking at the arrival of the thunder shower activity within the hour. It'll be here by maybe midnight, 1 o'clock in Victoria County. There are some strong, obviously big lightning. There's heavy rain. There's some gusty winds, and there will likely be some hail around here. I'm thinking that the size will be dropping down to, penny size or maybe marble size hail. Nonetheless, it will be occurring in the crossroads in the next couple of hours, so let's get ready for a stormy night.
All right, thank you, Mac. And tomorrow's National Grape Day. Archaeologists report that grapes have been around for 130 million years. Today, there are nearly 10,000 known varieties of grapes from around the world. The Department of Agriculture says 6 million tons of grapes are grown in the U.S. each year. And thank you for joining us. And check with CrossroadsToday.com for the latest on the overnight weather. 25 News Now sunrise at 5 a.m. Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.